Synod. It's a great pleasure to be back here and to kick off this next item on our agenda. But I have to say that having listened to the last 20 minutes to Bishop Martin and Bishop Mike, there can be or could have been no better introduction to this item. So what I'm about to say, frankly, will be quite superfluous. Their reflections and their thoughtfulness and what we will take away from that experience, and I know we're going to hear much more about it in coming days and weeks, speaks so much to what I think this great organisation and our wonderful church can achieve. But as I was listening to them, I was thinking, so what? So what? All those reflections, all those ideas, all that input from people inside the church and out. So what are we going to do about it then? What is our responsibility as leaders in our communities and in our parishes and in our deaneries? So what are we going to do? And I was reflecting driving here that we're now settled into our new triennium, our new 3-year term of office. There'll be the new members who were welcomed earlier. It's terrific to see them. And they are bringing obviously new experience and new ideas. And the existing members, I hope, we're all feeling we're returned, we're refreshed, we're reinvigorated and then re-energised. Yes, you are. And I think that together that we represent almost, if not every community in Suffolk, and likely every sector of our fast and growing economy as well, and the way we live, work and learn. We're definitely the largest voluntary organisation in the county, and I think therefore we have a unique role in leadership and influencing and shaping change and progress. Because I think, and what both bishops said, is they met on their pilgrimage, and we all meet day to day, those that are devoted to and interested in and connected with the church, but there are also vast numbers more who aren't, who haven't made that connection yet, who we're reaching out to at every opportunity. Which is why you'll remember, or most of you will remember, we invited at a recent synod William Kendall, a former High Sheriff of the county and a very highly respected member of our community in Suffolk. We asked him to reflect on the state of Suffolk, and he did that, I thought, brilliantly when we last met. Because what we really wanted to try and achieve here is, as a body, as a synod, what is our legacy? As the new triennium begins in 3 years' time, what is it we want to reflect on to say, with pride, we did that, we've done that, we achieved that. We have made progress as a church in the last 3 years in these many and various ways. What is it we have done? So what moment? And we all reflected, we got into the inevitable groups and flip charts and goodness knows how many post-it notes all came out, and today we've got coloured stickers, so that's very exciting. And we all reflected on prosperous and beautiful Suffolk. But we did that knowing that we all care and love this county. It's the greatest place in the country to live, work and learn. We wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't. As both bishops have said, they reflected as they moved slowly across eastern Suffolk how beautiful the county is. But however, Suffolk is also home to some of the worst and deteriorating areas of deprivation in the whole of the country. Believe it or not, that's the stark reality. And so against that backdrop, we as a church, as the largest voluntary organisation in the county, we have a unique role, I believe, and I know you believe from the feedback we got, we can do something about it. And you literally gave us hundreds of ideas, thoughts, to reflect on, and that was distilled into a feedback document that Gavin pulled together. And of course, as we did that and reflected on so what, we also have to remember some of the amazing work we are leading and shaping already. And it's really invidious just to mention a few, because you always miss something or somebody else, so I apologise in advance for that. But there's 4 things that have really caught my eye as I settle into my relatively now new role at DBF. The first one is Archdeacon Sally Gaze, and the new and really exciting leadership she's bringing to rural mission. To Dave Gardner and the Growing in God strategy, driving that with great determination and inspiration. Archdeacon David and reflecting on the future of church buildings. Interesting, therefore, to reflect on what both bishops found as they on their pilgrimage. And the soon-to-arrive Archdeacon Rhiannon, and looking at a new and reinvigorated role in Ipswich. And my goodness, isn't that a hurting community at the moment that we can do something about. And what you said and what you fed back to us is a determination and a wish to look at sustainable growth, better skills particularly for young people, but for those of us at the other end of our careers who need re-inspiring and retraining and refocusing as well. Getting more young people into work and training, building those stronger communities, looking at how we can sustain better and more flourishing environments, tackling loneliness and isolation, particularly in rural areas, but obviously so much in urban too. Looking at improving levels of public service, boosting numbers of volunteers, all of those things you fed back to us. So thank you so much for doing that. I believe we're on making excellent progress in what I call, and what the bishops reflected on in their feedback from the pilgrimage, bringing the outside in, talking less to ourselves, about ourselves, and getting out there and saying, well, so what are we going to do about our communities and our businesses and all of the things that are good and challenging out there in Suffolk. So in the old hackneyed phrase, I challenge you and I say, if not us, then who? And if not now, then when? And that's what this session is all about, and I hope you're going to throw yourselves heart and soul into it, because I think we can make Suffolk an even better place in which to work and learn, and who better to help and sustain that but those of us in this room and the people we know and love beyond it. So I'm now going to hand over to Gavin, who will make much more sense of what I've just said.